So I'm going to give a brief overview of graduate studies in computer science in Oxford, specifically from an MSc point of view, and sort of, trying to explain a little bit about how our program is different, what distinguishes it. Um, so you certainly heard a lot about Oxford at this point. You probably knew a lot even before this open day. You know that it's 1,000 years of history, always standing for academic excellence. It's got a very unique setting. You'll be walking through academic history every day. You know probably something about the college culture. Every every student is associated to the college. As a master's student in Oxford, you would be free. You would be associated with a college. You would be free to participate in Oxford college culture, the events at college, the cohort at college, as much or as little as you wanted to. It's something that can some master's students find to be a great enhancement to the Oxford experience. Others who are really more heads down in computer science maybe find it more of a bell and whistle, but it's up to you. Uh, you probably know that it already also that, for a year in Oxford as a master's student, you'll have contact with a huge number of amazing colleagues, not just within your master's cohort, not just in faculty and postdocs, but across the university. You'll have contact with undergraduates. You'll have contacts with various kinds of academics who are visitors at Oxford. So you'll be part of the entire Oxford experience. So this is relevant, but I'll try to drill down a little bit into things that are more MSc specific. Well, first I'll say a little bit about computer science. Oxford is now a tech hub. I'd say it's been a tech hub for at least a decade. And that's partially a startup culture. Some of these are startups from our own department, things like Navenio, Oxford Semantic Technologies, SEMO. Really a large number of startup activities that are coming out of our faculty and even sometimes from our postdocs and graduate students. There's also a tech culture within Oxford, the city, that's not necessarily tied to our department. There's many sort of tech nights. There's also Oxford for computer science is a big hunting ground for recruiters globally. Many of them, for instance, big tech companies, they'll have a foothold in London, and they'll be constantly visiting in Oxford. As a department, we are facilitating this, both ourselves through various kind of tech talks, visitors, through the career service. But a lot of it just happens organically. People who are in the tech industry are around Oxford looking for talent, and they know that we're supplying that talent. So I want to talk a little bit about the computer science department. You probably already know also from listening to Jonathan, and from your prior knowledge, it's a top computer science department, one of the top computer science departments in the world, listed as the top several years running in various rankings, world-leading research groups in many different themes: AI, verification, quantum, cyber-physical systems, data and knowledge, machine learning, programming languages, HCI, security. These are just some of these research groups that we have. And as a master's student, you'd be very much a part of this. Our master's students get embedded within research groups very quickly on coming here. They're attending seminars, attending reading groups. It's not just as a matter of the thesis project, but they're engaging with the research teams really early on. And this is also related to the small size physically of Oxford compared to other enormous universities. Also, that Oxford is a very much an in-person place where you can engage with other people. Then, specifically about the MSc in Advanced Computer Science, I want to distinguish it a bit as someone who's dealt with master's students in a number of different countries, a number of different science sizes and shapes, to say, what's different about our MSc in Advanced Computer Science compared to other programs that you might be considering. I mean, one thing that really distinguishes it is the small size of the cohort. The cohort over the last 4 years has ranged from 45 students to mid-60s. And by the standards of world-leading computer science departments, this is tiny, tiny, tiny. And it means that the ratio of faculty, postdocs, researchers to students is extraordinary compared to what else you might be considering. And this is reflected in the fact that you'll be engaging with faculty, also engaging with your other students. You'll get to know everyone in a much deeper level that you'd get in most other places. A second thing that I think distinguishes the program is flexibility. It's not a conversion MSc. It's not, right now you have specialized MScs that are specifically their gaming, computer science for gaming, AI, various kinds of AI MScs, software engineering MScs. Our MSc is something that doesn't require you to specialize. It's something that will support students with many different goals. Some of them are looking to go on for a DPhil and using this as a bridge. Some people are looking to go on to industry. You're not required in our program to commit early on to one of these goals, one of these sort of ways of engaging with the program. You have the ability to obtain specialist credentials now in two areas, foundations of computer science and in AI. But you don't have to make that decision bang on around arriving in Oxford. You can look at the courses, see how they're going, and decide whether you want to specialize. The last thing I want to talk about, which is something that distinguishes our program, you may find it good, you may find it challenging, is intensity. This is a one-year program, and students arrive first week of August, and it's hitting the ground running within a few days here. They're in courses. Courses are going very fast here, 8-week courses. They're getting material very quickly. You're really immersed in computer science right from day one. And you are in the taught portion of the course for the autumn and winter term, but the autumn and winter term is not that long. By the end of the winter, which is a few months after you arrived, you're already in research mode. You're taking a deep dive into a research project with one of our academics. And so this is something that makes the program, very, very fast. It's getting you a huge amount of computer science bang for the buck in a short period of time. In 1 year, you're getting a huge number of different experiences that are science related, some sort of foundational, some specialized. And you don't see this in a lot of other MSCs. So this is all I wanted to say about the program. I should say a little bit about applications, just in the same way Jonathan did. I will save part of this for the Q&A, where there's always some discussion of applications. I want to say a little bit about the personal statement. The personal statement is an important part of the application. And I think the most important thing I want to say about it is it's an opportunity to dive deeply into something that you've done that's technical. You could give various anecdotes about your passion. You could say sort of, I'd say really sort of standard application level things that may be true of you, but really the best use of the MSc application is to talk about mathematics, computer science, something scientific that you've done, which you can talk about in a little bit more depth, say in a few paragraphs that you could in your application. And I say this because one of the things that distinguishes us, I think also is our application process. We really read applications carefully. And we have a big team that's involved with it, and we're going through your application. And that means that you don't have to state stuff in big, bold letters in your personal statement that's already in your application, because we'll know that. So I say this because a lot of people will use the application space to say, oh, I went to great university, bold, and I got, this high grade, bold letters. And oh, I published this paper. We know that. We actually read your application. We don't use AI. We with our own eyes, we look at your application, every page of it. And so keep that in mind when you're writing a personal statement. It's complementing the rest of your application, which we actually read. So with that, I'll hand it back to Sarah for the next part of the program.